What is up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture. Welcome to a very special episode today because we have a very special guest. As many of you know, I'm extremely bullish. I'm long on Cardano. I'm also very involved in the ecosystem. So because of that, when I see projects trailblazing, building alongside Cardano, I get excited. So today we have Shahaf Bar-Geffen, the CEO of COTI. He's going to tell us all about COTI, this currency of the internet. What's up, Shahaf? How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you for having me here. I've been following you for quite a while, and it's an honor to be here.
Of course, man. It's very nice to meet you. You know, I know you have a very cool, growing community. The Cardano community, as you know, just growing as well, and just such a cool community. I want to start kind of dive in with some important questions. You know, there's a lot of people out there maybe watching this video for the first time, seeing COTI for the first time. They're not exactly sure exactly what COTI's doing, the relationship with Cardano. I saw you said, I think it was a year ago in a video, I was just watching this video. One thing that you said that really like shed light for me at least was COTI's taking traditional payment systems and wrapping it up with blockchain, and along the way adding like features in the payment system. You know, that's my take on it. But in your own words, I guess, could you just explain to everybody exactly what COTI's doing?
Sure. So just in terms of context and background, we're operating since 2017. We are a team of 30 now. I'm a co-founder and CEO. Prior to COTI, I was the co-founder of Web3. Online media group that was later on acquired, and Positive Mobile. My CTO is Dr. Nira Lohani. He's quite a smart guy, math PhD with 14 patents, sold his previous company to IBM, was their head of research. The rest of the team is all coming from blockchain, fintech, and banking background. We're backed by people from the fintech space and from blockchain, specifically Greg Kidd. Not a lot of people know him by name, but they'll know his investment because he was the first money in Twitter, Square, Coinbase, just to name a few. So quite a modest, humble American guy, and amazing. He just called us one day and made an investment. So that was cool. Recruit Japan, Wave Financials, and then recently, of course, Cardano. So that's some background and context. Our mission is actually to build digital rails for the future of payments. We do see ourselves as the bridge between legacy finance, between what is good and not good in traditional finance. So we try to solve a lot of the problems there, including, of course, inclusion, fees, latency, censorship, everything that is wrong with traditional finance. But we try to take what's good from these systems, like the ease of use and how widespread they are. So we try to take the good, mix it with what's great in blockchain, and build a system that can actually be adopted. And we are being adopted. We're clocking more than $250 million in processing volume for merchant. This is our run rate, even a bit higher than that. You know, approach seems to be working great for us, for merchants, and of course for our community. And I think it stems from our approach from the get-go was to just build things right from the grounds up. We have our own layer 1 protocol, payment gateways, apps, the licenses that comes with that. So everything from the ground up, it's a full ecosystem, and this is why it's being adopted. And I think this is why Cardano is using it as well.
Essentially, you're completely innovating the fintech and payment space via blockchain, via COTI, what you're building.
Exactly. The idea is not to take 300 years of banking and just throw that all away and say, this is not good, let's just do everything from scratch. But we're just trying to improve the rails, the infrastructure, because I don't know if you know that, but the sort of technology that banks and financial systems use right now was invented before the internet. So there's no point in trying to innovate on top of an analog infrastructure. We're trying to replace the infrastructure itself and then build from that point onwards.
Nice. So, and I was just talking to you a little bit about this, but you put out a Medium post today. It was really cool. And you said something in the post that kind of caught my attention. You said, this is more than just a partnership regarding Cardano. Cardano buying COTI's shares is a full alignment of interests. So can you explain, I guess, what you mean by that when you said that?
Sure. So just doing a partnership is quite easy if you have some things that are in common and of interest. Even buying a token is easy. It doesn't make you an investor in my eyes, and it definitely doesn't align interests. Like the good old days, when you buy shares in a company, you become a partner of that company and your interests are aligned. I think Cardano understands that COTI is going to be an important part of their infrastructure moving forward. There's a term that Charles Hoskinson coined, what is CCCI, like Cardano Commercially Critical Infrastructure. And they see Adapay and what COTI is building side of Adapay as part of that. We are entering their ecosystem. They're going to help us grow with it. They will have a share of this success because they'll be shareholders. That's their perspective of it. I mean, we didn't need to raise funds. We're doing quite well as it is. But having Cardano as a shareholder, as someone you can call to, as someone that picks you first when they're building new things, this is, of course, a great opportunity for COTI. It's not exclusive. We can build with other networks, of course, like we always did. But this is a true alignment of interest. We all win together.
So, and that was my next thing I was actually going to mention. Cardano commercially critical infrastructure. We're talking about technologies that Cardano will use to achieve mass adoption. So that stuck out to me because everybody knows that I'm excited about Cardano, every piece of what they're building, this world-changing platform. So basically they're saying, and you're saying, this top 5 crypto, $40 billion market cap, COTI is going to be a huge part of the infrastructure and what they're looking to achieve, right?
Yeah, and infrastructure is more than just technology. Infrastructure is way of doing business, licenses. So we have very good technology in COTI. And Cardano obviously has great technology, but Cardano does not want to build everything themselves. This is not the idea of the ecosystem that they are creating. And yes, we are going to be a part of it. We are their first investment. They'll probably have more over time. But being there as things happen is a great opportunity for us.
It's awesome. So obviously you're making moves in the payment space, in the crypto space. Question is, what will help in the mass adoption, and what are you and the COTI team doing behind the scenes to kind of set COTI up as a front runner in that regard?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the first approach is to take the best of all worlds. To begin with, by the way, blockchain in itself for payments is not good. It costs too much, right? If you just try to pay $100 with ETH. I mean, it just costs too much. It's not as fast as it can be. It will be very hard to regulate, and trust me, serious payment systems will be regulated. So we needed to fix blockchain, and we needed to fix traditional finance and build something that works really well together. So we're taking the best of all worlds in terms of the ease of use and what the user is required to do. I always say that technology is great when it feels like magic when you don't need to understand how it operates for it to operate. When it's great, you just there's no friction. And this is how we've built our payment systems that are installed, for instance, for Dafabet. The users there don't necessarily understand that they're now using blockchain technology. And this is the key, actually, to adoption. Ask anyone what web hosting does Facebook use. Nobody cares, but it works, right? So this is the idea behind everything. We have a deep understanding of business needs. Most of the leadership in the company are entrepreneurs. This is definitely not my first company, and my co-founders, this is not their first company. So we understand how to materialize things. We are a bit older than the average person in crypto, and we are very experienced in what we do. So we try to take it to the real world. We have a regulation-friendly approach, meaning that we do not try to fight a regulation. We try to understand how to best operate within its boundaries, and that will help with adoption. Any big enterprise, any big client will never work with someone who is not licensed to operate because they're jeopardizing their entire business. So we take this approach as well. And from day one, we did not try to tap into, fish and chip shops to accept Bitcoin. We are aiming to the big players that can use our technology. And that is the key to adoption, because if you're working with an enterprise that has a mass user base, you won. You are adopted by definition. Cardano, of course, is a great example of that.
Yeah, 100%. So speaking of mass adoption, crypto payments, are there a lot of crypto payment systems that have teamed up with Visa? And I guess, can you expand more on the Visa Simplex COTI relationship that's happening right now, and what sets you apart?
We are a design partner of Simplex, which is a principal member of Visa. What it means is that our offering will include more than debit cards. Debit cards are awesome, but they'll be based on a crypto-friendly bank account. So you'll open a bank account with us in Simplex. And essentially in this bank account, you have an IBAN, like a number, like a bank account, like your normal bank account, right? But unlike your bank, they will not give you a hard time when you sell crypto to that bank account, or if you buy crypto from that bank account. Quite the contrary. They encourage you to do that. So you can hold crypto in your wallet, sell it, and put the money in the bank account, or use that bank account to fund your crypto buying. The card then becomes an extension of that account, because you can just spend the money that you have there anywhere where Visa is accepted, which is obviously globally. Now, because this is based on a principal membership with Visa, it means that a few good things. One is that we will be the first to launch this offering, and it's around the corner. I mean, we are already working with our community to how to best design cards. We are already looking at VIP cards. Maybe you can get a VIP card. So all the cool stuff. But more than that, this is a very robust card. This is not a company that is licensing another company to license another company to issue a card, because we all saw how that ends in the crypto space. I mean, people probably remember 10x, Wavecrash, all these cards that crashed eventually. This is not going to be the case with our cards. It's going to be very robust. And when you have our card, you know that you have it for good. This is not a gimmick. This is the real thing.
So kind of along the lines with everything we're talking about now, and you were just kind of touching on the regulation aspect of things. I know you kind of have a timeline for this potentially, but can you speak on the importance of COTI obtaining an EMI license and, you know, what that looks like, your approach to that, and also maybe a potential timeline?
Well, first of all, as I've mentioned, our approach to regulation is to be regulation friendly. And trust me, regulation is coming. I don't know if you've seen Charles Hoskinson talk about in his blog, talking about the upcoming US regulation. He's very articulate about it. I recommend watching it. But it's pretty clear that Biden will bring crypto regulation in the US in 6 to 12 months. It's not global regulation, of course, but the world tends to follow what the US is doing. The good news is that it brings clarity to the space. Now you know exactly what you can and cannot do, which is expected. I mean, we can't live in the gray areas forever. The bad news is that the pendulum usually swings pretty hard the other way when someone tries to make a hard correction to things. And it means that the space is going to face a new reality. As COTI, we actually welcome regulation, because we are regulation ready since inception, since day one. And I think that will give us an advantage. What does it mean? It means that any person that has ever opened a COTI wallet with us, a native wallet, needed to do KYC. And trust me, this is a pain, because we have like about 2,000 wallets opening a day. We have a team that does that all day. And this has been going on for like 2 years now. All right. So we've opened a lot of wallets, a lot of people, a lot of KYC, but we know for sure that everything has been KYC'd since day one. Now it's a burden now. This is going to be a huge advantage in the future, because when regulation will come knocking and you don't have that history, you could never abide regulation. You're going to have to start from scratch something. So we are ready for that. Licenses has always been a big thing. We have an exchange license in Europe and in Singapore. We will have an EMI license. It takes forever, because this is how these licenses work. If it was too easy, I don't think it will have a meaning if it was too easy to accept it. So EMI is the European version. There are various versions around the world. In Singapore, there's a different name for that. But what it allows you to do, essentially an EMI license allows you to be a bank, but without the option to lend funds. So lending is what is a banking license. EMI license allows you to actually use digital money. Now, EMI was there before crypto, right? Before the concept, but it really falls into place, because you can issue quasi money, or you can issue stable coins, or essentially have fiat and crypto in the same wallet, because you are allowed to hold users' money. So that opens up a lot of opportunities for us. Also with the Cardano team, looking into the future and what Cardano is building.
Speaking of Cardano, I have to bring up the Cardano cFund. You all were the first ones to receive the VC investment from that cFund. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's pretty awesome to see that. And you had you must have been going crazy a little bit. What went through your mind when you found out, COTI was chosen?
Well, to be honest, how the saying goes, right? It takes a long time to be an overnight success. So we've been working on that deal with their team, specifically on that deal for a few months. But the relationship has been ongoing for 2 years. To tell you that I knew from day one that Cardano will invest in COTI, of course not. But it did materialize to that over time. We had them in our office a few times. We met at a few conferences. We are building things together. So it was great because, well, first of all, it gives you validation. You know, we've been working on COTI since 2017. When you start very, very small. None of us were Ethereum co-founders and this is our next project, right? We started from nothing, essentially. And then you being recognized by the top 5. This is great. Yeah, we were super, super happy about that. But, you know, you're happy, it's great, and then it's back to work, you know? No time to rest for these things.
Celebrate quickly, and then you get back to the grind.
Yep, exactly.
So, you know, in talking about developing things with Cardano, and I'm sure there's so much, you know, there's so much that you're working on. Let's talk about banking the unbanked. Obviously, that's a huge part of Cardano, their vision, their mission, you as well. Is that kind of how this relationship formed? It was kind of an alignment of your missions?
There are a lot of things of how we align. The Cardano approach is that blockchain is a social good, and they are heading to Africa and Latin America and other places in Eastern Europe where they can make the maximum effect. Because, you know, in Israel, where I'm at, and the US, where you are, things can be quite easy in terms of ownership and moving money around. It's not like that in Africa or in other places. So yes, we do align. It would be kind of like in China, where people completely skipped desktop computers and maybe even laptops, and they were more mobile first generation, which gave them, you know, huge advantages afterwards. When you think about WeChat and ecosystem and these things, we do see an opportunity that in Africa or other regions, maybe your first bank account is not with a bank. Maybe you are the owner of your own funds in your mobile, because, you know, you may miss a lot of things, but everybody has mobile, which is amazing, of course. So this is a huge opportunity to just leap a generation, because there will never be banks in some regions of the world. It's not just because people are racist or anything. It doesn't make sense financially. If all I can save is maybe $20 a month, right? If I'm generous, nobody's going to open a branch at my area because it just costs too much. So then you have people, you know, standing in line in one area to deposit money at a retail store, you know, for hours, and then their family member in other areas do the same thing, stand for hours to pull that money, and then you have money transfer, right? And this is crazy, right? Or to pay a utility bill. So this can easily be fixed with blockchain and with mobile phones. And yes, this of course excites us a lot. It's more than that, of course. AdaPay is like a spearhead in terms of adoption, because I don't know if you've seen that in the video. We were talking with the Cardano team. I mean, the first question someone may ask is like, hey, I can just move ADA from my wallet to your wallet. Isn't that a payment? Well, it's not. That's peer-to-peer transfer. Payment comes with a lot of other things, right? If you think about our technology, what a payment request actually holds, you know, inventory, taxation, a lot of things that come with payment. And of course, the licenses to do all of that. So AdaPay is a spearhead, but that's not the only thing we are building together.
I like what you said. It might be a world where the first bank somebody has isn't an actual bank. That's crazy. That's the best way to describe what it means to bank the unbanked. And I think that's like the perfect illustration.
Yeah, because when we talk about it many times, right, where we live, what we are trying to do is to unbank the banked, right? Hey, you have a bank account, but we can offer you, like, DeFi has better returns, you own your money. That's great, but like, I have options. In these areas, this is the option. It's not banking the unbanked, just giving them the first option to actually own money and enjoy the same privileges that we have. But the cool thing about it is that when it works, they'll actually be better off than people with a bank account in the US or in Israel, right? Because they'll be the owner of their money, they'll get better returns, everything will be better. So that's what I'm looking for. There are other things as well. I know you're a fan of Cardano. Like, one of the most amazing things that they are doing is the charitable organizations and the mission-driven staking pool. Not a lot of people realize that or know that, but the mission-driven staking pool, which is like donation money in Cardano, this is $500 million. This is crazy amount, and it's so generous that people that have ADA in their ecosystem are willing to donate so much. But it's kind of broken now because you can't really send ADA directly to a charity. We are going to help with that as well. And we are very, very excited about that. It's not every day that you get to be part of something that good. So ADA Pay will be more than just payments with merchants. It's going to be about charities as well. And we're excited about that. The obvious thing that everybody is talking about is governments and how these systems will be used. I'm not going to say a lot about this because this is like, the top projects in Cardano, and I'm going to let them speak 29 or during time on what exactly they do and how, but of course, we'll be excited to be any part of this. Another cool thing that is happening and we're involved in, and again, not a lot of people realize that, but as the Cardano ecosystem grows, you have projects migrating from other chains like Ethereum to the Cardano chain. We see that a lot recently, whether people migrate to Binance Smart Chain or any other chains, right? Because of gas costs and everything. Why not migrate to the Cardano chain? It has a lot of advantages and people do that. But when that happens, these projects ask themselves, okay, so I used to have this payment system based on Ethereum. Now what? Here we are with COTI and ADA Pay. So the Cardano team is very, very, very generous with their contacts and introductions. Like it's on a daily basis, we're being introduced to this organization or project wants to adopt a payment system. And this is a win-win. And that circles back to a full alignment of interest.
And you just wrapped it all up. I mean, merchant partnerships, nonprofits, governments, ecosystem partnerships. These are a lot of the things I saw you touch base on the Medium post that you had today. Hearing you talk about it really kind of sets the tone just with how big COTI is in terms of all of these things. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, as I've mentioned, there are billions of transactions that we can be part of. And this is, again, aligns with our strategy of there are already, 800-pound gorillas in the market. It's pretty hard to be the same 800-pound gorilla, but you can give them a stick. You can be their stick. You can be part of this and leverage that. And this is what we're doing.
Another thing I saw you kind of talk about recently, and this, we're kind of pivoting a little bit, but so you've launched CVI, and it's essentially the world's first crypto volatility index for DeFi.
Yes.
And I guess, can you just tell us a little bit more about what this DeFi product is that COTI has developed?
Yes, and I think this is going, I don't know if you've seen it recently, but it just grew like that the past 48 hours because people are starting to get it. And we had this big research company having a look at what we do, and they've just issued this review, which was amazing. To begin with, volatility trading on VIX, like S&P and VIX, is a huge segment in traditional finance. And it does not exist on crypto, and we've realized that, and we've built the first one. It's not an easy thing to build, especially if you want to build it in a decentralized manner to fit DeFi. I mean, any exchange can build something similar, but doesn't serve the purpose, of course. And what I think, and I predict that will happen, and it's on video, so we can go back to this in 6 months and see if I was right. But I believe that volatility trading on crypto is the next big thing in DeFi, right? So we had trading or swapping, which is the basis, DEXs, lending, of course, then derivatives, right, with options. And I think volatility trading is the natural continuation of things. I'm not a genius, it's just how it goes with traditional finance. And I think this is what will happen. We know we are the first mover, and we have a very, very, very robust technology that we've built. We have Chainlink as partners and other companies. And in about 2 weeks, we'll reveal another great person from the space joining us in this mission. And what it does, essentially, it's a set of tools. The Crypto Volatility Index is an index that is being calculated in a decentralized manner with a Chainlink Oracle that we've developed with them. But it's more than that. It's also a trading platform. So you don't just know what the volatility is, you can actually trade on it like you would with VIX and CBOE. So if you think the market is going to be volatile as a speculation, great, buy the index. This is what you would do if you were a trader in traditional finance. Also, if you are in a position, you have massive portfolio of cryptos and you just fear volatility is going to crash your bag, or it's going to be great, but you're just fearful, you can buy that as a hedge, right? Over time, volatility, like its nature, is to sink down. That's just the nature of it. In that case, you can just be the liquidity provider in the platform. Any way you choose to be works, of course. It's just a matter of what you speculate the next thing in the market will be. When you use the platform, you actually get the DAO token, which is now, I think, over $4 per one. We've airdropped it, like about 20% of the supply. As it is with today's prices, it looks like we've dropped about $22 million of free money to all participants. And we continue to do that every week. So it's very lucrative to just take part of this platform. And again, we're super excited about it. We built this as a community service completely. We did not raise funds. We did it on our own budget, gave away all the tokens, no cost, completely fair launch. The code is open source, and we actually encourage everybody to continue to build on this platform.
That's nice. So, I mean, everything else you have going on, you also have this really cool DeFi product. And what, you started working on this in 2020, right?
Yes, exactly. Mid 2020. Yeah. And we launched it at January.
Yeah. So you're on video. We're going to revisit in 6 months to kind of see, and I think you're definitely onto something in the importance of, volatility index for DeFi. So probably is the next big thing. So
yes,
it's good foresight. So want to ask a question. You've hinted recently talking about a few surprises for the coming weeks. What are the chances here on Crypto Capital Venture you could maybe drop one of those for our viewers?
Okay, so I'll just start off with what everybody knows. Everybody knows AdaPay is coming, and it's pretty soon. We're building an app for iOS. We're integrating our mainnet to a major exchange. We're launching COTI on Ledger, debit cards and bank accounts, of course. What I can tell you is I'll give you one thing for COTI and one thing for the crypto volatility index. For the crypto volatility index, version 2 is coming. We don't easily call something version 2. It's going to have a layer 2 support. We're going to stay on Ethereum, but the gas costs will be very slim. And this is crucial for the adoption of the platform. We're going to have leverage trading because you have that on VIX, and why shouldn't we have that on crypto? And version 2 will also introduce a very, very new concept, because I told you, I think this space is going to be big, and I think other people will try to build what we've already built. So we're going to be one step ahead. And our approach is going to be crypto volatility index everywhere, meaning we're going to issue tokens for volatility trading outside of the platform. So you can buy that on Uniswap, on Sushi, whatever DEX works for you, whatever chain works for you. It's like the metrics. It's just going to be everywhere, and you can just get it right away. That will help you against impermanent loss, or just, to take these wild speculations on how the market is going to look and profit from it. So it's going to grow outside of the platform. So this is one big thing that we're doing. In COTI, there's a cool thing that we're doing with NFTs. We're going to announce it in a few weeks, depending on how fast we can deliver that. But we are going to do one of the biggest campaigns, raffles with NFTs that has ever been launched. And it's going to have a huge prize, like at a level that would make you and I move and actually participate. It's serious. So that is coming as well. It will be for the COTI community, but people will have time to join it. And remember, when we airdropped GOVI for free to our community, that was $20 million. So it's going to be grand.
Wow, cool. So CVI version 2 and NFTs. Yes. It sounds like it's going to be a kind of a big launch here, a big impact on the NFT space.
Yes, I mean, it's cool. NFT, I mean, we love the technology. There are other things that can be done with NFT other than just, buying arts. It can be used as a form of payment, of course, like as a voucher, as a coupon. But we want to introduce thinking ahead. If we want people to use that as a payment method, they need to get accustomed to what NFT is. So we need to educate people about it.
Nice. Well, thanks for dropping those 2 bits of news here. I think the underlying thing here, the theme of COTI, is you're truly innovating in different aspects of blockchain. And, like I said in the intro, you're working alongside Cardano to implement some like world changing things. And it's something that excites me. I think it's important that the audience know, and everybody knows out there, you all didn't reach out to me in terms of doing this. I don't cover a lot of projects on my channel. I only cover the ones that I'm just genuinely interested in. So I want to throw that out there so everybody knows that. And so, awesome meeting you. I wanted to ask, is there anything you want to kind of leave the audience with in terms of COTI?
I think one of the things that we also care about, like what we don't like in the space, is tribalism. We were hurt by that many times, communities attacking our community and people asking, why do you work with Cardano? That makes you part of. We don't see that. Like for me, at my age at least, that looks ridiculous, because we as a space, like everybody in the space that builds, innovates, cover things, create things, we are all actually aiming for the same thing. I don't see any project or company in the space losing from blockchain being adopted. So it doesn't really matter who did what. Like when someone wins, blockchain gets recognized and adopted and accepted, everybody wins. We are essentially at the same space. What we are fighting against, our real competition, is not other crypto communities, companies. Ridiculous. Our actual competition is old habits, is traditions, is things are being done the way they were done before. Like conservatism in a way. This is our real enemy. This is what we should fight. We should actually work a lot more together, not as tribes, and actually try and make everybody win. There's not going to be one winner in the space. There's not going to be one chain that will rule them all. It's not going to happen. There will be various chains doing various things because that's how the world operates. And we should really all try to work together and play together nicely. I think it will benefit everybody.
I 100% agree. Thank you for saying that. The tribalism aspect. I think I'm hoping as the space matures, we kind of pivot away from that. But yeah, thank you for making that point. And I mean, that's just another reason. See, this is why I'm long on COTI.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, I appreciate you cruising by. As things progress, there's so much going on. Hopefully we can just kind of have you back on, hang out, discuss everything that's going on. I would love that if you're open to it.
Of course I am. Sure.
Cool. Well, everybody, that is it. That is COTI. Get involved in the community. Follow Shahaf and COTI on Twitter. You know, they're always dropping what they're working on Twitter. They're very involved over there and just a really exciting project. So I appreciate all of you cruising through today. Hit the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this project, COTI, what they're doing, the moves they're making. I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.